Hey guys, so I wanted to share a video about my postpartum journey. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but as you can imagine, things have been really hectic with a 3-month-old baby. He's so cute and so fun, and parenthood has been amazing, but obviously we're really tired and exhausted. Okay. This video is mostly meant to be kind of like a journal entry for myself because I feel like I'm already forgetting things, and he's smiling. He's smiling. Yeah. But also to share with anyone who's curious as to what it's like having a newborn baby. Yeah. A quick overview. I had a really smooth and positive birth experience. I gave birth at a birth center. We did a water birth. And I luckily had no tears. Everything went really smoothly and lovely. And things have just been amazing. Yeah. Okay, so first I'll talk about the physical aspects. I was not expecting to be so immobile and bedridden after giving birth. I'm a really active person, and I was fully expecting to just like be up and walking back to normal like 2 days after. I thought it'd be like 2 days of bed rest. But it ended up being 5 days in bed, 5 days on bed, and 5 days around bed. And that was kind of hard for me to deal with. Yeah. But I tried to enjoy it because it was so fun. Just the only task I had was taking care of him and trying to recover. So I tried to soak it all in. Also, you just pushed out a baby. He was a small baby. He was only 6 pounds, 5.4 ounces, but he had an average sized head, 13 inches circumference. So, that hurt pushing out. I didn't have any major tears, but the skin definitely had some like micro tears, and it got really stretched and it hurt a lot. So using a pear bottle to pee was pretty crucial. It's a little squeezy bottle that sprays water, so it dilutes your pee so that it doesn't sting. Taking stool softeners was really helpful for me, so I didn't have to like push so hard when I pooped. And overall, your body is just really sore. It feels like you did the most intense workout of your life. I ended up pushing in like a squatting position in the tub, so my thighs and hips were really sore. Your abs will also be sore. I have a little bit of ab separation. It feels better now, but it really hurt back then to like sit up in a like crunching position, to sit up out of bed that way. So I would have to like rotate on my side and then like slowly come up that way. Also, your arms and wrists will start to feel sore. You go from carrying this baby in your stomach to carrying them in your arms. So I had to learn to just roll my shoulders down, keep my elbows down, relax, stretch my neck out here and there when I could. And initially I was holding the baby like this with my wrist turned in, and my wrist started to hurt like crazy. So I had to actively like hold my arms in a fist, my hands in a fist, so that I didn't turn, and I would just hold my baby like very like this, which is, it looks stupid, but it helped my wrists so much. Yeah. And it was very supportive, and he didn't seem to mind it. Yeah. I'm slowly starting to get back into exercising and doing my normal thing, but obviously it's slow. I tried to go for a walk, and even just a walk around the block was like, whoa, too much. My hips hurt. So things are still getting readjusted. I feel a lot better now. I'm going for walks with my dog. I'm carrying him in the carrier, doing all the things that I want to do, but obviously not doing anything too intense. Oh, and another question I've been getting a lot, but this is not like a top priority for me personally, is how much weight I've gained. I don't mind talking about it. I don't find it like offensive or anything, but it's not like top of mind. So for reference, I weighed 125 pounds before being pregnant. I was 145 pounds at the peak of my pregnancy. And then immediately after giving birth, I was 135 pounds. Yeah. Now I'm a little over 130 pounds, but it's just like not the goal right now to try and lose weight. Most of my energy is going into taking care of a baby, so I'm just focusing on that and trying to recover. The next topic, and I guess this falls under the physical changes category, but I think it should have its own section, is breastfeeding. And I'll probably make a whole separate video going into the details of it, but breastfeeding has changed everything. We're not using formula, we're just using breast milk. Dad is helping with a bottle at nights, but it changes your body. It's been so fun. I've had a very fun time breastfeeding. I find it to be really relaxing. When I feed him, I just feel like we're bonding, and I feel so like, I think it just releases it, and I feel so relaxed, and I love it. I will say though, at the beginning, we had a couple bad latches, and just the compounding nature of having to feed him constantly, it just takes one bad latch for it to really hurt. So we iced the nips, we used cabbage leaves, we used nipple creams and silverette cups. But it felt better after like a day. It just takes one bad latch to be like, ow, that really hurts. And I think at this point my nipples are pretty used to everything. So I remember feeling engorged when the milk first came in, and I was like, whoa, what is going on? Your boobs will feel rock hard and they kind of hurt. It's like very tender. Doesn't feel great, but once you feed or pump to release it, it felt normal again. But yeah, it's been really fun and I really enjoy it, and I just feel like it's been very fulfilling. One thing about breastfeeding that I did not expect was how thirsty I would get and how much hydration it takes from your body. So I'm drinking so much water. I'm drinking like 3 of these each night. I'm constantly having Anshul bring me water while I'm breastfeeding. But also my skin really dried out. Like it got flaky and like visibly dry. So the midwife suggested I eat high fat foods to help with the moisture retention. And I also think it made the milk a little more dense in nutrition. So yeah, that was just one thing I did not expect. I didn't expect to change my skin. Yeah. Okay, next I want to talk about the emotional roller coaster of being a parent. So that first week after giving birth, the oxytocin high is amazing, incredible. It's like the drug you've ever taken. It's the highest high. You're so filled with excitement and joy and love. I totally thought that I would want privacy after giving birth, but I just wanted to share him with the world. So we had so many visitors and we called all our friends and family and shared this guy with the world. That's probably how we got sick that first few weeks. I think it was June 30th. Yeah, it was like 3 weeks after we gave birth. We ended up getting COVID. Baby was totally fine. He didn't have any symptoms. I think the antibodies in the breast milk helped a lot. But yeah, we were just so over the moon, overjoyed, and just wanting to be social, which is not something I expected. After that first week, you start to feel the crash. You get a little more exhausted. You feel tired. But every time you look at him, you're just like, this is just the cutest guy. I would do anything for him. It's totally worth it. When we do start to feel burnt out, it's been really helpful to have help. So Anshul's parents, who live an hour away, come up, or we go down there and they take night duty. Anshul and I catch up on sleep. Oh, what? You know we're talking about you and how little sleep we get? You know we're talking about you? He's probably hungry. Are you hungry? So yeah, having the help, having a community, having family has been really helpful. One thing I will say about having help is that I have learned that it's important to give clear direction and be very specific with your needs. And it's also okay to just let other people do things the way they want to do them. It only takes one person to figure out why a baby is crying, and if people are willing to offer their help, you should accept it. But yeah, finding the balance between like being hands-off and letting people help the way they would like to help versus giving direction as needed, it's been a huge learning lesson for me. I'm also the type of person who has a hard time asking for help. So it's been a little challenging for me, but ultimately it's been good for me to learn how to ask for help, because it really does take a village to raise a child. Also, I feel like one of the concerns I had would be the intimacy between me and Anshul. I think it's important to remind each other that you love each other. Things are different now, but I think we're just super happy to have a baby, and it's just added a level of depth and complexity to our relationship. I don't think it's taken anything away, and this period is so short-lived and temporary that it's important to enjoy it rather than see it as like a burden or infringement on your relationship. So I don't know, we just don't feel that way at all. We just love our little guy, and we find that it's made our relationship so much more intimate and fun. Last thing I want to talk about are the things that I did not expect in terms of the baby. So random baby stuff. I didn't know how much they would startle. Like, they have this startle reflex and they wake themselves up. So that's another reason why sleep has been a little challenging. But like, you learn to swaddle. Anshul has mastered the art of swaddling so that he doesn't like startle himself. He's transitioning out of the swaddles now because he's starting to try to turn. So that transition is also interesting. Yes, their neck strength is not great, but you know, you learn to like support them. You learn how to deal with that, and also it's so short-lived. His neck has become so much stronger now. Yay, are you done eating? Good job. Good job. The umbilical cord. So I guess I just didn't expect the umbilical cord to stay on as long as it did. It took about 10 days to fall off, and in those 10 days, you're not supposed to get it wet. You're supposed to let it dry and heal on its own, and it smells so bad. Every time we caught a whiff of it, it was just like, ugh, it smells like rotten cheese. So that's something I didn't expect. Also, he had like a lot of little white milia on his face when he was first born, and that's just from the hormones, my hormones being transferred to him. But I also just didn't expect his skin to just be so like fragile and like thin. His whole body peeled. I don't think that's like every baby, but for him, he was like peeling like a snake. His skin was really wrinkly, and it was just like, we were like, is this normal? Is this an issue? We were so worried at first, and the pediatrician was like, fine, totally normal. He is peeling more than any baby that she had seen before, but like, it was totally normal. So yeah, skin issues I did not expect. Also, he was born with really long nails, but they were like paper thin. So I didn't expect to have to trim his nails so often. They grow so fast. I trim them like every 3 days. Also, he'll like touch his face, and like if I don't trim his nails properly, he'll like cut up his face, and I'll be like, oh my God, he's bleeding, and it gives me a lot of anxiety. So I try to like trim his nails regularly, but that's just something, like he's doing it now. And that's something I didn't expect. I didn't know that they would like cut their face up because their nails are constantly growing. Another thing I didn't expect was how much you have to put in emotionally and mentally. Like, yes, I knew you'd have to feed them, change their diaper, make sure they're warm. I knew about all the physical things, but I did not know about the mental and emotional engagement that you would have to give the baby. Like, I feel like Anshul was really good at teaching him how to laugh. I didn't know that's something he did. So Anshul will hold him and be like, ha ha ha, hee hee hee, hoo hoo hoo. And then he would mimic that and laugh back. And that was crazy. I actually took a video of this happening when he was like super tiny, and it was crazy. But yeah, like reading to him, giving him that mental stimulation. I think that is something I did not expect. And another thing, I guess the last thing I want to talk about is just like watching him develop. That I guess feeds into the developmental things. He's recently discovered his thumb and using that to self-soothe when he's sleeping at night. His neck strength, all of these things are such big milestones that you don't know about beforehand, and we're learning on the go. But like, yeah, every day is so different, and there's something new, and it happens so fast. So yeah, those are generally the changes that we have experienced, that I have experienced, that baby has experienced. I want to end this video with a journal entry that is very private, but I think it's really beautiful, that I wrote like a few days after giving birth. Having Orem was at first a shockwave. Shock that I pushed him out, from feeling his velvety, soft, mushy head a knuckle deep to feeling the circumference, my skin and muscles burning, then holding him in my arms. It happened so fast. I cried from the pain, but laughed at how unbelievable the experience was. Holding him didn't feel real. He felt like a toy. I was still reeling over the physical shock I just went through. We moved to the bed, and he latched. And that's when it slowly hit me that this was my baby, the thing I carried inside me for 9 months. The spine, the feet kicking me, the hiccups and stretches. He latched, and it just felt so calming and natural. It felt like we had always known each other since the beginning, that the only thing between us was time. Meeting him finally was still surreal. I felt like I knew this is exactly how he would be, and there was no surprise. Yet the shock still rippled through me. I wanted to share him with the world. We called all our friends and family, and there wasn't a moment of solitude, only jittery excitement. My heart felt so full, and it continues to feel full. I am sad, though, the feeling of how fast time has been flying. Time leading up to the birth was so slow, and now the changes I see in him are so visible and fast. He's gaining so much weight, and since coming home, taking care of him, it's easy for me to worry about him. I'm feeling all the highs, the hopes and dreams, but I'm also aware that it's tied to the potential of loss and sorrow. It's hard to sleep, and I want to spend every waking moment with him. Yeah. So yeah, that was what I wrote down like immediately after giving birth, because I just felt so many emotions and I wanted to remember it. And we feel so happy and blessed and in love with this guy. And how could you not? He's so cute. But yeah, this is what life has been like. I'm constantly covered in pee, poo, milk, spit up, and I couldn't be happier. Thanks for watching.